Brothers and sisters, my fellow brethren, we have been deceived. This is the last of the last days. This life is not a dream. This life is not a game. We were put here for a purpose. We have done well to observe the Sabbath and the holy days. But there are many things still left undone. Do we know what holy even means? Pure is what we should be saying. Are we living pure lives? Are we representing the Messiah here on earth as we should be? We are to be a peculiar people, a special people, a set-apart people, a people that represent the Messiah here on earth. Are you living according to the Torah or the journey? Are you walking and growing each day? Do you know what the scriptures say? Do you know the truth of the fringes? Or are you just trying to live on the fringe benefits? Do you have the Torah in your heart? Do you guard His commandments? Do you truly love Him? The scriptures say that if you love Him, you will guard the commandments. Do we walk in pureness? Do we live in pureness? Do we think pureness? Are we different from the world? Are we different from society? Where your heart is, there will your treasure be also. We are not to love the world, neither the things in the world. If we love the world, the love of the Father is not in us. We need to redeem the time because these days are evil. We have no time to sit and be idle. We have no time to waste with television. We have no time to waste on things of this world. We have no time to lay up treasures for ourselves on this earth. This earth is going to perish. These things are all going to pass away. This life is not a game. Do you know about our ancestors and the curse that was upon us? That age has passed now. We are into a new age. The things that have been sealed up for the end time is now open for us to know. It is time for us to wake up now. It is time for the brethren to rise up. Many are going to be deceived in this evil day. We need to be strong and in the Word. We need to have it in our hearts. We need to guard it with all diligence. We need to know what the truth is. Do you know why we should be wearing fringes? Do you know what fringes really are? Do you know the true color of the ribbon? Do you speak in purity? Do you know what pure speech is? Are you still confused about the end times and the way that things will unfold? Are you confused still about who the beast is and who the Antichrist is? Do you know what the mark is? The scriptures have told us. Have you studied the scriptures? This is not the time for us to be sleeping. This is not the time for us to be lazy. This is not the time for us to slack. The bridegroom is about to return. Are you ready? Do you know what to do? Do you know how to keep the Sabbath the way that it was meant to be kept? Do you know how to observe the holy days? Do you know when the holy days are? Do you know the times and the seasons? Do you know the proper calendar? Do you know the proper times of day that we should be praising the Most High? Do you meet with Him in the secret place? Does the Most High know your name? Do you know what direction you should pray? Do you know what you should do with your hands when you pray? Do you know in what position you should be praying in? Do you know what true worship is? Do you know what true music is? Do you know what real clothing is? Do you still speak heathen words like Jesus or Lord or God? Do you know the proper and pure words that we should be speaking? Study the scriptures. Study to show yourself approved. Do you know who the enemy is? Wake up. This is the time to be awake and alert and be vigilant. We are in a battle, a real battle for our lives. This is the end. This is not the time to slack. This is the time to be the most observant. It's an absolute must. You must know who your enemy is. Do you know who he is? Do you know how to engage? Do you know how to fight back? Do you know what your weapons are? Do you know that we are not carnal, We are spirit. We are eternal spirit. This body is temporal. Do you know how to fight the enemy? Do you know who you are? Do you know your position with the Messiah? Do you know how to call on Yahushua? Do you know how to work with the Ruach HaKodesh? Do you know the fruits and the gifts of the Spirit? Do you know how to engage with unclean spirits? Do you know how to cast them out? Do you know how to put them into subjection? Do you know how to call upon your Father in heaven? Do you know His name? The true ones of Israel will know His name. Are you still confused about who you are? We are not Christians, we are of Israel. Yahushua said, He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the Aleph Tav, the beginning and the end. It is so vital. We must know these things. We have to get it together. We must fight the enemy. We must engage. We must push back. This is life and death. Know your Elohim. Be strong. Be courageous. Fight back. Study the scriptures. If you are ignorant of these things, the enemy, Satan, has the advantage. This should not be. He is already defeated. He is done. He is finished. Study the scriptures. Take up the word. Put it in your heart. Use the weapons of our warfare. The final rehearsal has begun. This is it. This is the end. Brothers and sisters, I'm urging you. We must get this together. We must be in unison. We must be on the same page and fight together. We must, absolutely must, call out to the Messiah. The scripture says that the bride and the Spirit say, Come. We must be in prayer one for another. We must be in prayer in spiritual battle. Together, we must fight against the enemy, for the time has come. The Messiah is going to return. Will He find a remnant? Will you be among that remnant? Will you be able to identify your true Messiah? Will you be able to discern Yahushua? Will you know Yahushua when you see Him, the one true Messiah, not the impostor, not the Antichrist? The scripture says that there will be a strong delusion, and many will be deceived. Do not be deceived. The false Messiah is about to be revealed, and He will show many signs and lying wonders. Do not be deceived. Know the scriptures, study them. Be strong. Know your Elohim, and do exploits.